dreads, back with another video. It's been a long time. I missed out on my 7-month update. This is pretty much like a week before my 8-month update. I moved. I was in the process of doing a lot of things, you know, got real busy, and I just now found my tripod, just now hooked up my computer, just now got everything ready to go. So yeah, here it is. I'm doing this video because I'm about to do maintenance. I'm about to wash them. After I wash them, I'm going to start the maintenance process. For me, since I do them by myself, it takes a couple of days. But I'm going to start on that today. But I was going to go ahead and do like a before and after. This is before they're maintained. You know, it's a bunch of, I don't know if you can see, there's a bunch of loose hairs. I mean, I'll try to get at the, but see, like there's a bunch of loose hairs all at the roots. I hadn't maintained them, hadn't done anything in 3 months. It's been, it was right before my 5-month dread update that I did maintenance on. So it's been right there 3 months, about to be 8 months. So it's been 3 months since I've done maintenance. And yeah, let me show you, do a 360 real quick. Alright, that's my dreadlocks. Yeah, like, let me see. I got a mirror behind me so I can kind of see stuff, but if you could see that, I don't know how easy it is. It's kind of hard to see because it's so close to my scalp. But like right there, that's a good example. It is starting to do somewhat of a locking up process, but at the same time, because I have to wear a hat and I wear them laid down, it like makes one side tighten up a little faster than the other side. And like this, see, it's kind of prohibiting it from all dreading up like it should. But now, I did have, on the Facebook page, I did have somebody asking me about, or they were asking about thickening dreads and how that would work. And pretty much, I don't have my tool around me, but pretty much what it is you'd have your dreadlock, you get your crochet hook, and you go from the end and pull down. You just pull down and just work your way down the dread. It'll thicken up, but you'll also lose a bunch of length. Prime example of this is I showed a dread that had shrunk up a little bit on its own in one of my last videos. Well, what ended up happening when that dread shrunk up, here it is right here. What happened is, right here, it's a big old knot. Well, what it was real skinny right here, a big knot, and then skinny right here. Not real skinny, but a lot smaller than it was. So what I did was, went from the end and pretty much pulled it all down to make it more of a, you know, so it didn't have that big hump in it. And to show you, well, like I said, it thickened it up. So this is one of my, I think this is my thickest dread. But let's show you, this is the dread that's right beside it. So it's the same length. It's the same, it should be the same everything. And you see the difference in length on there. So you can thicken up your dreadlocks if you use the same process to blunt your tips. If you use that all the way down your dread, you could thicken them up. And it also, this is probably one of my tighter dreads too, which all my other ones are real skinny. So they have more flexibility to them. They can move around and they're not, it's kind of what I want. See, I have a good, about 2 inches of semi-loose hair, semi-dreaded hair that I'm going to do maintenance on. But yeah, I'm going to wash my dreads. I'm about to jump in the shower now. I'm going to wash my dreadlocks. As soon as I wash them, I'm going to get my wife to rubber band them for me, just because I maintenance them myself. So I want them already to be sectioned off, because I don't want to end up maintenance them in the back of my head, not seeing what I'm doing, and then combine 2 dreads without meaning to do it, which at this point in time I don't have any interest in Congo and dreadlocks, so I don't want to do that right now. But I wanted to make a video real quick on this. I'll show you a before, and then I'll show you an after I do my maintenance. This was going to be a whole nother video within itself, but I decided to put this. Decided to put the before and after video together. This is 8 months of dreadlocks. Go ahead and do a 360 for you. Go ahead and show them to you. This is 8 months. This is also, like I said, I just did maintenance, so it's not, they are maintained. But here's my dreadlocks. Do a 360. I'm in an old computer chair, so it might be a little squeaky. It's all right. Just bear with me, guys. Bear with me. Here's my dreadlocks. I want to touch on a few things real fast. I've been talking about blunting tips. I know I've had some people ask me about blunting tips. The way I blunt my tips, which I've already done all of them, but I hold my dreadlock, I go through the body, and then I pull from the tip and pull in the hair. So that's how I do That's how I get the blunted tip effect. And then after I do that, to keep those knots in, I go back and forth, right, there at the tip to kind of form some more knots, so it's not just hairs pulled straight back in. It kind of forms knots in. That's how I blunt my tips on the blunting tip process, or on the blunting tip topic. You hear a lot of people talking about blunted tips when you wash your hair, wet your hair, that it prevents them from wicking out. And I just want to touch on this real quick. That makes no sense. That is asinine. If that was the case, all the water would just be stuck in your dread and it wouldn't go down your dread. Your dread is nothing but knots. The blunted tip is nothing but knots. If that was the case, it wouldn't, that's what I'm saying. If that was the case, water wouldn't flow through all the locks that's in your dread. So I hear a lot of people talk about that, and it's funny to me because I could wash my dreadlocks and I could just lean my head over, and it's just normal. These things don't stop it. It's not like, oh, nope, we got a barrier, we can't go out here. Anyway, but I wanted to touch on that. That using common sense will tell you that just because the tip's blunted, it's just knots. You're just forming knots there, so there's knots all through the dreadlock. Blunting your tips is not going to affect the water staying in your hair. That's just, I guess that's an urban legend or some shit. I don't know. But on top of that, I wanted to do this video because I'm on a bunch of Facebook pages about dreadlocks. I see a lot of people on the Facebook pages on the verge of cutting their dreadlocks or brushing their dreadlocks out because there's nobody around to maintenance them. Or I've seen a lot of people that want to get dreadlocks, but they feel like they can't because there's nobody around to do them. I've had dreadlocks 3 different times. This time, I'm going on 8 months. The last time was 2 years, and the time before that was only a few months because I didn't do my research. I was impatient. Yeah, I was wanting immediate results, which that does not come with dreadlocks. But this is just to kind of show. I also want to do a video to, the before and after to show you that you can maintenance your own dreads. You could take care of all that. You know what I mean? You don't have to have somebody to do it for you. You could maintenance your own dreads. You could have nice looking dreads, which, I think mine look nice. You might have other opinions, but in my opinion, they look nice. And I did all this by myself. I did this while I'm watching TV, just going through there, just maintaining my dreadlocks, just with a crochet hook, I'll touch on this just in case you haven't seen my other videos. I have rubber bands in them. I know that's another no-no for a lot of people. No rubber bands. But if you look, there's plenty of room below the rubber band. And the rubber bands, they're not tight. They can move around, which I have them. These rubber bands kind of have the little grip on them. Yeah, I just wanted to touch on that to let you know, hey, you can maintenance your own dreadlocks. You don't have to have somebody. I'm not going at nobody's money. I'm not going at these locticians, which I didn't even know that was a term. But, I've seen it on those Facebook pages. I'm not trying to go with anybody's, I'm not trying to go on anybody's grind, This is for people that are in them dire situations where they think they have to cut their dreadlocks, or they think that they can't have dreadlocks because nobody's around. I've started every set by myself, me and my wife. That's the only help I've had. I didn't have no dread party with a bunch of people over doing stuff. It was me and my wife. We started my dreadlocks, and she helped me start them, but I do the maintenance in them. That's another thing. Another good thing about maintenance in your own dreadlocks is the fact that you could feel everything. So you're not going to be pulling out hairs. You're not going to be damaging your hair. When somebody's going through there, 9 times out of 10, when you go somewhere to get it done, they got a time limit. They're trying to do it in a certain time. They don't have a couple of days to do it like I do. So they're going through their little, they're going. Not saying that they're doing, not saying they don't know what they're doing, but when you add in the element of being rushed or having to do that, that could cause a lot of things. That cause a lot of negative things. And I like doing it myself because I could feel if hair's being pulled, so I know not to do it too tight. I know not to, I work with, so if I'm starting to pull on my scalp, I'm like, hold up, this ain't gonna, that ain't good. So that's another good thing about maintaining yourself. You do less damage, in my opinion, maintaining yourself than going and getting the maintenance, which I've never went and got at maintenance, but I've seen a bunch of videos of being maintenanced, and speed and how fast you could do it is always a thing when it comes down to going somewhere and being maintenanced. I mean, that's what I've always seen in all the videos and everything. But like I said, I'm not going at anybody's grind or anything. I'm just saying this is just what I do. I'm in North Carolina where I'm at. I haven't seen anybody around me that does any lock maintenance or anything like that. Anyway, before this video gets too much longer, I think I touched on everything I wanted to touch on. Let me do this real quick. I did use the Dolly Locks locking pepper dry shampoo, and then I used the Dreadhead HQ lock sculptor. That's how I maintenance my dreadlocks. This is Infectious Stress. It's been my 8th month video. I hope you enjoyed it. Peace.